So incandescent bulbs. So incandescent bulbs are going to be replaced with CFL bulbs, and then further they can be replaced with LEDs. Okay, that was the transformation that has happened. Earlier filament bulbs were replaced with CFL bulbs, then to LED bulbs. Then conventional fluorescent lamps are going to be replaced with energy efficient fluorescent lamps. Okay. Mercury vapor lamps or sodium vapor lamps, they are going to be replaced with halide lamps. High pressure mercury vapor lamps, HVMV lamp means high pressure mercury vapor lamps, will be replaced with high pressure sodium vapor lamps. So this is the replacing the existing lamp sources. Then coming to the electric chokes, starters and ballasts. So the main function of any lighting fixture is to distribute, direct and diffuse light. So distribute means distribute uniformly. Direct means to provide the lighting in a specified direction if required, and diffuse. Okay. What is meant by diffuse? Diffuse is nothing but spreading uniformly over a wide area is called as diffuse. Okay, so diffuse of a light, that is the main function of any lighting fixture. So sometimes what happens is some fixtures will absorb more amount of energy. Okay, that is illuminated by the bulb, so that decreases the efficiency of the lighting system. So to avoid that, what we have to do is we have to install high efficiency fixtures. Instead of absorbing, they can emit more amount of light. So for that purpose we are going to use reflectors. So if you are going to use reflectors, then instead of the absorption rate, the emission rate will be increased, so that the lighting luminaire will effectively emit the light or radiate the light. Okay, so all discharge lamps generally require a ballast for achieving this operation. So conventional magnetic type ballast cause power loss, so it is nearly in the range of 15%. So how a ballast will look like, so this is the image how a ballast will look like. So this type of ballast will be is seen in the offices, IT offices and industrial offices like that. So nearly 15% of the energy is going to be wasted over there. So for this purpose, we are going to use the uh, energy efficient ballast, which is made up of electronic type or solid state type. So they can reduce nearly 20 to 30% of energy consumption over the standard ballast. Okay, so in choosing the ballast, again you have to see that proper ballast must be chosen in such a way that the temperature and any other losses are going to be reduced because of this ballast. Okay, in using energy efficient luminaries, so by any lighting method, okay, there should not be any electrical or mechanical accidents that is to happen. Okay, so because of the lighting, there should not be any electrical accidents or mechanical accidents to happen in the industry. Okay, you might be seeing in the you might have studied in the machines, especially the diploma students, stroboscopic effect. Okay, so sometimes you find the motor, if the lighting is not proper, uh, because silent motors are there, so induction motors. So you may think that the motor is not running if the lighting is not proper. Okay, so that is called as your stroboscopic effect. So such type of things, and the workers may not know, may not notice it, and if suddenly they try to handle that motor, so there may be any electrical accident that can have takes place. So you should see that your lighting methods, whatever the lighting method you follow, that is indirect method or direct method or semi-direct method, whatever the lighting method you follow, so there should not be any uh, electrical accidents or mechanical accidents happen. That's what. Glare, as I told you, glare is nothing but the unwanted light that causes disturbance, some sort of discomfort to the human eyes. So it should be very, very less, or it, if possible, should be completely avoided. So by properly selecting suitable lighting method, okay, so the environment working conditions should be comfortable to everybody. So mostly we are prefer usage of energy efficient lamps like CFL bulbs or LED bulbs. Okay. So using lighting controlled gas. Okay. So this one example. Okay. This we have taken. This is one SCADA type of system example. So where you can see from here you have some radio frequency nodes at every particular street lighting. So the technology has grown in such a way that the light will be focusing when the object is at coming to that position. Okay, so that is taken care by your radio frequency signals, which is connected to the cell towers network provided, and they are going to be activated with the GPRS location and all. Okay, so such type of technologies are already available. You might have seen in some movies also. Um, in some movies, you can find only when some person is there in that room, then the light will be on. If not, if the person exit from the room, the light will be automatically off. Okay, so that means there is a sensor control. So by which the sensor will notice whether the light should be on or off. So this sensor is going to play a major role here. So that means controlling light controlling is taking place because of the sensors. So now the first and foremost, whenever we say controlling technique comes in terms of electronics point of view, our first and foremost thing we understand is a microprocessor. Okay, or infrared controlled dimming switch or switching. So, okay, so installing a microprocessor or infrared controlled dimming or switching. So by using microprocessor or any infrared controllers, we can control the lighting. So movement detectors or lighting sensors are used to feed the signals to the controller. Okay, as so I already gave you the example. So movement detector. So when the person is there inside the room or not, or when some unwanted, when nobody is there, lighting is on. So all these things are going to be detected by the lighting sensors or the movement detectors. So that will give input to the controller, and the controller will take appropriate action whether to on the light or off the light. Okay. So optimum usage of daylighting is essential. So installation of an exclusive transformer. So to reduce voltage stress on the lighting system. So if and all required, you can install an transformer only dedicated for the lighting problem. So which improves the lighting efficiency. So installation of separate transformer or servo stabilizer. So the point in the previous thing is going to be continued here. So the luminous efficiency of a lamp depends mainly on the voltage. So if there is any smallest change in the voltage, okay, so that will severely affect the lamp efficiency. So the luminous efficiency is higher when the input is at the rated voltage. Okay, lumen per watt is the efficiency unit. Okay, so it is higher when it is when the voltage is at the rated value. So small reduction in voltage will reduce greatly the luminous output. So you have to take care that the voltage applied across the lighting system should be properly maintained constant. So if and all required, you are going to install a transformer uh, near the load so that there will be no voltage fluctuations or voltage variations. Sometimes there may be a necessity to install a stabilizer also to reduce the voltage fluctuations. So the stabilizer usually is a servo stabilizer. Okay, so a servo stabilizer is nothing but a servo motor control stabilizer which regulates the fluctuations in the input and give proper rated output. Okay, so that is done by our servo stabilizer. Then coming to the periodic survey and maintenance programs. So periodic survey. So you have to first and foremost condition. You should design the lighting system in such a way that it is mostly taking the daylight as the advantage. Okay. So it can be a room lighting if you are going to construct a building, or if you are going to construct a warehouse, or industry or offices, commercial complex, whatever it may be. So first and foremost criteria that should be in your mind is you should take the advantage of daylighting. Then the second one is turning off the lights in unoccupied areas. Okay, so we have seen one automatic control system with the usage of microprocessor or microcontroller. So turn off the lights in unoccupied areas. Then remove unneeded lamps. Okay, so that means there will be initially you may be designing in such a way that you want to put a particular thing at one location, a room, and you have given the power socket and you have installed a lamp and all. But in the future expansion or thing, so that point is not needed. Okay, so if and all lamps are placed over there and all, okay, so you have to remove these unneeded lamps, that is called delamping. So and also you have to check whether before delamping you should check whether the existing lighting levels are higher than the recommended lighting levels. Okay, so you should not have more illumination in a particular room, okay, than the recommended, so that it will cause anyway higher the lumen. Definitely when the lighting radiations are increased automatically, we cannot stay more amount of time in that particular room. Okay, so if the because as I already we know that along with the light, heat is also radiated, correct? So which means if more amount of time we are going to spend at the lighting, so heat also will be generated. So that you should take care that there should not be higher levels of illumination than the recommended levels. So that is why if there are unnecessary lamps placed in the room, okay, so you have to delamp them. Okay, depreciation in lumen output will occurs due to blackening of the lamp. Sometimes you might be seeing, especially this will cause will with the fluorescent tubes. At the fluorescent tubes, you can see at the ends of the fluorescent bulb, you will be seeing some black shaded happening. Okay, so because that is happening because of the evaporation of the fluorescent material that is happening over there. So because of that, what happens? The amount of lumens that should be radiated by the lamp will be decreasing. Okay. Uh, so which should be taken care. If such things are happen, there should be those type of lamps should be immediately removed, uh, which will improve the energy efficiency. Okay. Automatically, why we are doing all these things? We are doing all these things to save our energy bill. Okay, so that is the main purpose. So if and all there is a depreciation in lumen, automatically the amount of input is going to be increasing and output is reducing. So which means uh, the lamp is not energy efficient, so then the power bill is automatically increased. So for doing all these things, we should train the staff, especially housekeeping staff, with the importance of luminous efficiency and what are the lighting policies that we are applying. Okay, so first and foremost important dose is that you should get into the habit of turning off the lights when you leave the room. Okay, so setting up of a automatic control scheme, you can have automatic control scheme by the microcontroller, lighting sensor you can all provide, but they are costly, right enough. So only all the common man cannot afford those type of control schemes. So first, in a general way, so if you are get into habit of turning off the lights whenever you leave a room, so it nearly saves 0.5% of the energy. Okay, and second one is removing dust or dirt from the lamps. So you should periodically clean your lamps. Okay, so by de-dusting the lighting fixtures, you can save nearly 1% of energy. Okay, so these two things, especially for our home purposes, we can do this, I think. Okay, So because of these things, we can nearly save 1.5 percentage of energy in our homes. Okay, so that we can reduce our power bills. Nowadays power bills are coming like anything. So these are the two important do's that can be taken care to reduce our energy bills. Okay, so lighting, coming to the lighting. So on the summary, so we have discussed why energy conservation in lighting is important, and what are the different conservation schemes that are available in the lighting. So on the whole overall summary, so far we have discussed what is modification and replacement of existing systems, modification of existing systems and replacement of existing systems according to syllabus. Then different definitions and their priorities. Why illumination is important, what is illumination, what is luminous efficiency, what is luminous flux, what is plane angle, solid angle. So those things under all we have discussed. Then we have seen different lighting schemes, LED bulbs, then conductive polymers, and what are the energy conservation measures. Okay, so with this, our unit 2 is completed. Okay, so for you, we have made some bonus slides also. Okay, so now you can, uh, this is the bonus slides. So designing of a lighting scheme. Okay, so as you know, there is a problem here we are trying to find out. So given a room is and the area 9 meter into 12 meter, it is illuminated by 12 100-watt lamps. Okay, so 12 into 100, that is the total wattage of the lamp. The luminous efficiency of the lamp is 13 lumens per watt. It has spelling mistake is that lumens per watt, it is luminous, not 30 lumen per watt. And the coefficient of utilization is 0.5. Find the average illumination. Okay, so as usual, given data, so room dimensions as given as 9 meter into 12 meter, wattage of each lamp is 100 watts, and the total number of lamps that is available 1200, and the luminous efficiency is about 30 lumen per watt, and the utilization factor is given as 0.45. uh, what you require is average illumination. So to require average illumination, what is the formula? Illumination E is equal to flux by area. Okay, so you have to calculate. Area is already given 9 into 12, so which is nothing but 108 meter square. 9 into 12, so that gives you 108 meter square. And the wattage, total wattage is equal to 100 into 12, because 12 lamps are there, each lamp is having 100 watts, so which is nothing but 1200 watts. So you know luminous efficiency is equal to lumen divided by input. So we can calculate, input is already there, so luminous efficiency they have given as 30. So that is why it is total flux is equal to 1200 into 30, so 3600 lumen we have been used. But that is the total 3600, I mean 3600,000 is the total lumen, but we have to know how much amount of flux that is reaching the working plane. Earlier, when there was no utilization factor, this is the value of flux, but when utilization factor is there, so according to the definition of utilization factor, total lumen received by the working plane, so the total number of lumens emitted, so that is why 36,000 into 0.45, so which is going to give you 16,200 is the lumen. So illumination E is equal to flux by area, so 16,200 divided by 108, so whose value is equal to 150 lux. Okay, so this is another type of problem with respect to utilization factor. Okay, so now if anybody wants to ask any questions regarding this, I will, you are allowed to ask the questions if you want any explanation regarding or anything like that. students are allowed to unmute themselves. If and all you want to ask any question, you are given the permission to unmute yourself and ask the question. We will be very happy if you and all you are going to ask some questions, so that we come to a thing that okay, the students are really following the lectures, like that. So this is the syllabus slide. So all the topics, whatever the topics that are there in the syllabus, okay, so all the topics are covered as per your syllabus. So modification of existing systems, replacement of existing systems, luminous efficiency, and some important definitions, electrical lightings, flood lighting, LEDs, conductive polymer, and energy conservation measures. So all these topics are dealt in 7 lectures. Totally 7 lectures we have made. Each lecture is comprising of nearly 30. So nearly 200 slides are there. Approximately 200 slides are there, which covers you all the entire topics. Anybody is going to ask any question? The teacher will be generally happy if you ask some questions only. So if you are not asking any questions, here the problem, as I already told you, that if you are not asking any question, it is one-way traffic, and we don't know. We are not seeing your faces. We don't know whether you are able to follow or any difficulty you are facing. So those things and all we will come to know only by your mouth. Okay. Okay, then if there are no questions there, so we will try, we will be putting some sort of what we call quiz, online quiz. Last time when I was dealing PS1 to you, in the online class mode, I have given you some questions, some quizzes. So some type of quiz type of PPT I will prepare and try to put in the poll, so that you will be able to, I will be seeing how many of you are going to answer it, like that. That is one option I have. We have 35 members in our class as of now. Okay,
Sir,
then. Ah,
sir, small request from our side, sir.
ah.
సార్ మీరు అందరినీ డిజేబుల్ చేస్తున్నారు కదా సార్, మైక్ డిజేబుల్. అలా కాకుండా అందరికీ అన్మ్యూట్ చేసుకునే ఆప్షన్స్ ఇవ్వండి సార్. అప్పుడు